Good morning. I hope you're doing great, doing awesome today. This is, wait a second. Well, I just need to inundate myself with enough caffeine to caffeinate myself before we get started to a short reading. What I do is to help you, put you on track of being able to maintain a daily reading habit. It's quite important. And we do that by actually reading few of my favorite books. So I'm trying to do that as a daily habit to encourage you to read more, to love more reading, and enjoy learning new vocabulary, walking through so many books and titles. Now, what I do have is actually I have a book library, digital book library that you notice here. I have so many books that I've started reading, gone through. Some of them are novels, some of them are scientific, some of them are romantic. Depends on my mood, actually. Some of them are finished, some of them are not. So, as you notice here, this is by far one of my favorite. I've just added here. I've been reading Steven Pinker, Blank Slate. It's about the cognition. There are other titles that you can have a look here. Agatha Christie, They Came to Baghdad. You notice here. Most of them are related to language and language learning. And my method is reading something through language and discovering the peripheral effects and vocabulary through language. So I chose Robert Ludlum's Scorpion Illusion. It's one of my all-time favorite books, actually. And what I want to take you in is a short trip. What I am showing you here. So what I want to show you here is a quick sample of reading. And from this reading, what I want you to do is just take the method and do a daily practice. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I can walk you through a couple of pages. And building on these couple of pages, it is going to build up and boost your motivation and inner willingness to participate, engage, and initiate the initiative of learning, reading, and developing your skills of reading. And that is going to ultimately help you along the run to improve your habits of reading. So, The Scorpion Illusion is one of Robert Ludlum's novels, and I quite like it because the kind of thrill it has. The prologue is Ashkelon, Israel, 2:47 a.m. The night rain came down like sheets of silver knives. Wow, sheets of silver knives. The dark sky filled with dark masses of swirling black clouds. The swells of the sea and the whipping winds murderous, for the two rubber rafts lashed to each other as they approached the shoreline. Now, he's describing the shape of clouds, the shape of rain that was falling on Israel, and the wind shaping the shorelines. The raiding party was drenched, their blackened faces streaked with anxious sweat and rain. Their eyes blinked continuously, straining to catch glimpses of the beach. Glimpses, يعني لمحات. The unit consisted of 8 Palestinian men from the Bekaa Valley and 1 woman, not of their birthright, but committed to their cause, for it was an integral part of her own, inseparable from the commitments she had made years before. Muerti Alatoda Otoridad. She was the wife of the raiding party's leader. "Only minutes now," cried the large man as he knelt beside the woman. Remember, when we get off, throw the anchor over between the boats. That's important. I understand, my husband, but I'd feel better going with you. And leave us no means of getting away to fight again. He asked. The electrical power grids are less than 3 kilometers from the coast. They feed Tel Aviv. And once we blow them up, there will be chaos. We'll steal a vehicle and be back within the hour, but our equipment must be here. I understand. Do you, my wife? Can you imagine what it will be like? Most, if not all, of Tel Aviv in darkness. And Ashkelon itself, of course, it's perfect. And you, my love, you are the one who found the vulnerability, the perfect target. I merely suggested it. Her hand caressed his cheek. Just come back to me, my love, for you are my love. There is no doubt of it, my Arnava of the fires. We are close enough. The leader of the raiding has signaled his men on both rafts. All slipped over party, the sides into the heavy surf. Their weapons held high, their bodies assaulted by the crashing waves as they jerked through the soft sand to the beach. On shore, the leader pressed his flashlight once. A single short illumination that meant the entire unit was on enemy ground, prepared to penetrate and do its work. The wife threw the heavy anchor over the side between the two lashed rubber boats, keeping them in concert in the waves. She pulled her handheld radio to ear and mouth. It would be used only in an emergency, as the Jews were too smart not to have the coastal frequencies monitored. Now, so far I've read the prologue of this interesting book, and it's quite important for you to understand that the majority of your struggle with reading this book will come from reading the first chapter, because the author is going to inject as many unfamiliar vocabulary and kind of weirdly structured sentences to leave the best impression on you. So it is the first chapter that the majority of writers have an investment in. If they lose the track of the readers on the first chapter, they will lose the track of everything. So what I want you to do is to develop this habit of reading. Read for 15 minutes every day. What I showed you here is just a sample of my daily routine of reading. I just read in the morning. I read on a website called The Aeon. It has so many interesting psychology and language related articles. So I recommend you check it out and develop this habit of reading over the course of time to produce a better quality of vocabulary in writing and in speaking of English. Have a wonderful day.